Williams, the F1 team, they have a $100 million lawsuit. Kind of a big deal, I guess. The brand new Lamborghini SC63, that's their Endurance World Championship car. That's actually finally been seen testing. It looks really nice in exposed carbon. And I just wanted to cover what the next decade of cars and technology might look like. That and more in today's episode. The lower tier Formula One team Williams is now currently involved in a lawsuit involving alleged fraud and other issues. A former marketing executive named Claudia Schwartz is suing on the grounds that they let go of her due to the investors' dissatisfaction with her performance and that the team spread rumors of a relationship with her and a former CEO who was also let go. Williams has had an interesting year so far, with Alex Albon securing all 11 of the points for Williams and the car having an on and off pace. It'll be interesting to see how, if at all, this might shake up the team. I'm not a seasoned reporter on this, but I do know that they have a lower budget, and some have said that their facilities are not up to spec. That's the main reason we have to wait and see what happens to the team, at least. Williams has countered her suit by alleging that Schwartz has defrauded them nearly $7 million between early 21 through 22. They claim she inflated charges and directed business to her husband and other suppliers with personal connections. Williams also portrays her as having misused company funds for lavish stays at a luxury hotel and describes her workplace behavior as toxic and intimidating. Intimidator. Dale Earnhardt. The main point to consider is that since this is breaking, there will be a period where nothing's actually solid. So we'll have to reserve judgment as far as all of these allegations go. But what do you think will happen? What do you think of Williams' 2023 season so far? Let me know in the comments below. The new Lamborghini SC63 has finally been seen testing at Imola.
Strike!
This is the first time the Lambo's prototype has been on track after its announcement at the Goodwood Festival of Speed that we talked about on a prior episode. The car sounds good, looks nice in exposed carbon, and it has a 3.8-liter twin-turbo V8 engine combined with an electric module producing 680 horsepower. That's 10 more than the Cadillac for some reason. I wonder if that's like 2024 regulation change, maybe, I don't know. Or the weight is different. I guess the Lamborghini might be heavier. Now, I can't find this online, but with these LMDH cars, they do have something called bump start. That's when they go from the electric motors to the internal combustion engine.
You got the track to yourself.
Hopefully we'll actually know what the Lamborghini sounds like when it comes to its bump start, but we can still compare flybys, so here's a few. Sounded the best to you, and what you think about the 2024 WEC Championship. What do you think it'll look like with Lamborghini and Ferrari racing against each other? Today's episode is sponsored by no one else other than myself. So I am going to be live every single week, usually Friday, sometime around 10 p.m. That is subject to change. If you want to tune in and hang out with me, I will be live, like I said, once a week. So just subscribe and turn the bell notification. Most of you aren't subscribed, so just come hang out. I race. I'm not always the best, but it is a good time. There's good music. And like I said, it's once a week. Also, if you're in Michigan and you have a cool car that you would like some pictures taken of, check out my website and the contact page, and maybe I could do something for you. Thank you once again to Mraz.com and myself for sponsoring the video. All right, let's get back to the show. Everyone knows that the world is changing. At what rate do we think it's changing? I don't know that anyone knows. But if there's anywhere to look to know the pace of change, let's take a look at the car. Cars are molded to what we need and want. This is, in theory, how it's always been. You design a car with its use case in mind, the economy that it will be introduced to, and the regulations you have to adhere to. There have always been guidelines. There will always be guidelines too. But what separates us this time is, first of all, the converging technologies that give us these insane specs and breakthroughs. A hybrid system that produces these numbers, this Koenigsegg, with 4 doors, the Tesla Plaid, the McMurtry fan car, the last breath of the 2010s muscle car era, and a hybrid mid-engine Corvette. I could go on, but I don't have to bore you. I mean, we all understand this is the beginning of something different. And my second point is simply that these cars are actually being bought. The mega car that are for sale in the millions have no issues finding buyers. This McLaren, the Solus GT, is the latest example to come to mind. Manufacturers creating track-only cars that break records and sell in the millions is not always something that occurs in the car market. And I would argue that when it does, it's setting the stage for the future. Even if companies become bored, these These heirlooms have technology and records that will become and stay exclusive for quite some time. It's a fancy way of saying that the TLDR is hybrids, EVs, the remaining internal combustion engine options, self-driving, all of these crazy technologies, or old but evolved, are moving the goalpost again. So what a time to be alive. Before you watch this great video about Detroit, first race in 82. Here's a couple MotoGP Formula One crossover renders by Formula Addict on Twitter. Personally, the Aston and the McLaren are my favorite, but you're gonna have to check out their thread to see the rest. I thought it was pretty cool though, so I had to share. That'll have to do it for this week's episode of ECU. What do you think of Williams being caught up in a lawsuit? What do you think of what about this Lamborghini, the SC63, finally getting proper track testing at Imola? It looks pretty cool. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, and I will see you in the next one.